Damn.
Marion shouted, but he wasn't hearing anything. He grabbed one of the caregivers and shoved her so hard she hit the floor.
What's good, yeah, your boys back at the better back to one only to Spooky Scare 5. We're back to Spooky Scare 5. Don't forget to gym at get into it. Don't forget to smash the like button if you want more Spooky Scare 5. Smash the subscribe button if you're new, you know where to move the crew. Comment down below, all my social in the description. So if you want to send me any Spooky Scary animated videos, I can react to it on Spooky Scary Friday. I could do that. If new subscribers don't know what Spooky Scary Friday, or new viewers don't know what it is, Spooky Scary Friday is one of those days that we as a whole community come together and I react to videos sent by you guys, Spooky Scary animated videos sent by you guys, and I pick them by myself and I react to them. Some of them we got snacks and drinks, and that's what we do. If you wanna send me any spooky animated video, I can react to Spooky Scary Friday. All my social are in the description: Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, you feel me, Facebook, all my social are in the description, Twitter, so you can send me Spooky Scary animated videos so I can react to Spooky Scary Friday. And let's get into it, yo boys. Story
This
1.
happened last
Today
year,
we're about
a
to
few
react
days
to
before
my bad.
Christmas.
Today we're about to react to 3 true Christmas horror stories animated, and it's Christmas coming soon, you know what they do.
My wife, Julia, and I had to take a last-minute trip to the mall to buy decors and dinner supplies with our son, Danny.
Danny,
The mall
was good,
was getting
homie?
crowded each second. I told Danny to keep by my side, but a few seconds later, when I looked down, my son was nowhere to be
no.
found. We tore through every store, screaming his name. Dread coiled in my gut. Julia started crying. We were talking to the mall security.
Bro, if you
guy.
lose a kid in the mall, bro, if I go to a mall to shop, not a mall, if I go to a store, big ass store to shop, or a mall to shop, bro, it is absolutely impossible to find a person, bro. I was trying to find my friend, and we are both grown, like, well, we tall as shit, but like, not tall, but like, bro, I couldn't find them. I'm being serious. I was looking through, the store only had 5 or something. I was looking through everything. I could not find them, bro. It is hard to find people in the store. So if your kid goes running in the store, there's no way you're finding him. I'm not
Help us
gonna lie.
find Danny when we heard an announcement from their office. Attention shoppers, one of our security personnel has been found dead in the men's restroom. Please remain calm and stay inside the building. Suddenly, one security personnel showed us footage of another security guy leading Danny by the hand.
That's what I'm Damn. It be so.
Toward the back hallways. There, that's our son. Call your security guy. I watched the guard's face turn pale. He said the man in the footage was not their coworker. The uniform he's wearing actually belonged to the dead guy found in the bathroom. Julia broke down crying on the floor.
My gosh.
My son's helpless, innocent face flashed right in front of my
Bro,
eyes.
if somebody told you, bro, it's the same thing. That's what I'm gonna teach your kids, yo. When somebody told you, oh, let's go, let me go, I'm gonna give you a candy. What candy? I don't want no candy, bitch. My dad can buy me candy. Bro, you gotta tell your kids this stuff, bro. Even if they're 5 years, as soon as they can walk, you gotta explain to them the candy thing. When somebody trying to give them candy, or when trying to say, "Come on with me, I'm a police officer," you gotta explain the kid everything when he's 5 and he can walk. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
The cops will be here any minute, sir.
Nah,
But I didn't wait. I ran.
you gotta come on.
Sir, wait! He might have a weapon! I didn't care. That was my Danny back there.
Yup.
I pushed through the employees-only door and into a narrow concrete hallway. Spotlights were strung along the ceiling, half burnt out, throwing jumpy shadows that moved when I did.
Yup.
I ran past storage rooms full of boxes, and I could hear Danny screaming.
Dad! Oh, no.
Dad! I followed his voice and burst through the door into a big storage room. The man was holding Danny off the ground. His one arm was locked around his chest, the other pointed a knife at him. Danny's little feet kicked weakly. His face was red from crying. Stay back, he warned. Let him go. I could barely get the words out. He's only 6.
Damn.
Please. I don't care. He's my key to get out of this mall without any trouble from the cops. Danny was crying, shaking really
Forget me. You should tell him that.
badly. His little hands were stretched towards me. I knew my one wrong move could cost my son's life, so I had to be smart. I raised my arms up in surrender and said, "Look, you want to get out of here, right? I'll help you. Just let him go and hold me hostage. I promise I'll cooperate." The man scratched his head with the knife, then looked at Danny and back at me. "Is this some trick you're trying to play? Because if so, I'll shoot." "No! Take me, let him go. Look, the cops are coming. You've got to listen to me, now." My words convinced him, and he let Danny go. He ran towards me with little steps, and I hugged him. He was crying, thinking the man could still hurt him, but I calmed him down and told him to go back to Mom. Told him that I'll be all right. But just then, I heard running footsteps coming our way. The man grabbed me by the neck and placed the knife on my forehead. The cops burst through the door. Danny was still there, calling out for me, crying. One of the cops took him into his lap, while 3 others told the man to let me go.
Bro, come
man-
on, bro. That's it. I know I misadded.
Steps, and
I'm not like, I know I misadded a couple stuff like sometimes, but like,
I hugged him.
but the
He was
cops don't have
crying,
eyes.
thinking the man could still hurt him, but I calmed him down and told him to go back to Mom. Told him that I'll be all right. But just then, I heard running footsteps coming our way. The man grabbed me by the neck and placed the knife on my forehead. The cops burst through the door.
They have
Danny
no-
was
two
still
cops
there,
have no
calling
eyes.
out for me, crying. One of the cops took him into his lap, while 3
Look.
others told the man to let me go. But the man threatened them, saying if anyone tries to stop him, he'd shoot me. I told the officers to first get my kid out of there because I'm all right. When we all walked back to the mall, everyone watched me and the guy with fear and suspense in their eyes. The cops were negotiating, but the man who had been a runaway convict wasn't falling for any of their words. My wife screamed from the crowd, seeing me. I was a little relieved to find Danny back with Julia, but I knew it broke her. She got her son back, but put her husband in danger
Bro,
instead.
come on.
It was like her life traded fear
There's no
with
eyes on
fear.
those women or the man.
The convict told me to head for the exit without doing anything foolish. "One mistake, and I'll blow off his head." I
Oh.
nodded and started walking away slowly. The cops had their guns at him, but couldn't do anything because my life was hanging by a thread. We were about to get inside the elevator when I noticed this big metal Christmas star hanging right inside the elevator. An idea clicked in my mind. The man hit me on the head with the knife and shouted, "Get in! You're coming with me, remember?" I got in, but just before the elevator door closed, I noticed the man laughing at the cops. He thought he won. His pride distracted him for a few seconds, and that's when I snatched the star from the ceiling and stabbed him in the right eye with its pointy peak. He screamed in pain, and the knife fell out of his hand. The cops swarmed in and pinned him down to the ground. It happened so fast and quickly that everyone stayed silent for minutes. Finally, I was reunited with my family. Danny came running at me. While hugging me, the poor kid kept apologizing. "I'm sorry, Daddy. I shouldn't have left you." "Shh, don't say that. You're safe. That's all that matters." "Were you scared?" "Terrified. But seeing you, I'd give my whole life for you." "Will you always protect me?" "Always. I promise."
Damn.
That day, I could have lied to Danny, telling him how I don't scare easy or how big of a hero I am. But if you ask me, I think it's better to tell our kids the truth. It's
Yeah.
better to let them know that parents are human too, and they
Yeah.
can make mistakes as well. This teaches your kid to respect your decisions.
That's that with your story too. Let's get into it.
Last year on Christmas, something happened to me that I'm still trying to process. I study in college and decided to visit my family at the last moment on Christmas Eve. Driving down the highway amidst a blizzard was probably the dumbest decision I ever took in my life. After half an hour of difficult driving, my car gave up on me at Highway 9. The blizzard got worse, and within minutes I was stranded with no signal, miles from home, and the temperature was dropping fast. I sat there for maybe 20 minutes, watching snow pile up on the windshield, trying to catch even one bar of service while the cold crept in. That's when I saw headlights cutting through the storm. A pickup truck pulled up behind me. It was old and beat up, covered in blinking Christmas lights like someone had gone crazy at a dollar store.
That's great.
There was even a wreath wired to the grill, the kind you hang on a front door. Through the snow, I could just barely make out the driver. When he leaned out the window, I almost laughed, seeing him wearing a Grinch costume. Need a ride, kid?
Nah.
Yes, thank you so much. Hop in. Can't leave you out here on Christmas. I grabbed my phone and wallet and climbed into the passenger seat. The truck smelled like pine cleaner mixed with something metallic underneath. The dashboard had candy canes duct taped everywhere. Thanks for stopping. Sure thing. We drove in silence for a minute before he spoke again. You know what I hate about Christmas? What? All that fake cheer. Families pretending they like each other. Kids screaming for toys that'll break in a week. I laughed nervously. No wonder you're dressed as the Grinch. He laughed. I also thought he was just playing the part. I forced out a chuckle too,
come on, now you
because
kept-
what else was I supposed to do? Where are we going? I asked, suddenly alert, as he drove past the turn to the town. Home. You're my Christmas guest, kid. His gloved hands squeezed the wheel. The Grinch doesn't like spending it alone anymore. My stomach dropped. Actually, my parents are waiting for... Let them wait! Where were they when you stood next to that broken car? Huh? The way he said it made my mouth go dry. The roads are dangerous tonight, he chirped. Better if you stay with me. We can have Christmas dinner together. I've been preparing something special. I watched his hand move toward the glove compartment. He popped it open. A knife was sitting inside next to a candy cane. The blade was dark with something that definitely wasn't rust. That's for carving the Christmas roast. I've been planning this dinner for weeks. My heartbeat got faster. We were slowing down now, getting close to this patch of dense woods on the left side of the road. There weren't any houses or lights, except his truck's blinding decorations. You ever carve a roast, kid? He picked up the knife, still driving with one hand. It's an art. You have to know exactly where to cut. I didn't think. I yanked up the door lock and threw myself against the door. It flew open, and I rolled out onto the snow-covered road. Pain shot through my shoulder and hip as I hit the pavement.
Damn.
The truck's brake lights went red. I got to my feet and ran toward the tree line. I heard the truck's engine rev behind me. I looked back and saw it reversing. He was coming back. I ran into the woods, grimacing every time the branches whipped my face. The snow was knee-deep, and every step felt impossible. I could hear the truck's engine getting louder. Then, the headlights hit me. He'd driven off the road and was crashing through the trees after me. The Christmas lights blinked like crazy as the truck bounced over roots and rocks. I cut left hard. The truck tried to follow, but clipped a tree. I didn't stop to check and kept running. My lungs burned from the cold air. The truck was catching up. I could hear him laughing over the engine. The bumper was maybe 10 feet behind me when my foot caught a root hidden under the snow. I went down, face first, into a drift. I rolled onto my back just in time to see the truck's grill coming right at me. The truck was maybe 3 feet away when sirens went off from somewhere close. Red and blue lights flashed through the trees. The truck slammed on its brakes, skidded in the snow, and stopped inches from my legs. Through the windshield, I could see him staring at me. Before driving away in the opposite direction, he put out his head from the window and yelled, "Merry Christmas! Enjoy it while you still can!"
That's fucked
I just
up.
lay there in the snow for God knows how long. Then I heard sirens in the distance. A highway patrol SUV came through the trees. The spotlight swept across me. The officer jumped out. You okay, kid? I got a call about a vehicle driving erratically.
He tried to kill me.
I couldn't stop shaking.
He was wearing a Grinch costume, and he had a knife.
They found my car where I'd left it, covered in snow. Found tire tracks leading into the woods, but the truck was gone. The officers said they'd been patrolling nearby after reports of a decorated truck driving recklessly. They never
Damn.
found him, despite countless reports from other drivers who said a truck covered in Christmas lights had followed them for miles before turning off. The officers said they'd been patrolling nearby after reports of a decorated truck driving recklessly. They never found him, despite countless reports from other drivers who said a truck covered in Christmas lights had followed them for miles before turning off. They never found the knife, the costume, or any proof he'd existed at all, except for the tire tracks and my bruises. I don't drive on
Wow.
Christmas Eve anymore. Don't even like seeing Christmas lights on cars.
Damn.
And every time I see someone in a Grinch costume, even at a mall with kids around, I leave. Because I know he's still out there somewhere, driving that beat-up truck with its blinking lights, looking for Christmas guests who won't
Maybe
make
he's
it
the one that's at that every time. On Christmas, he just putting something so your car can hit it and your tires can give out, and he can come and do this shit over again. Story 3.
I
Just
grew
kidding.
up bouncing between foster homes, so when I finally got my nursing certificate at 26, working at Meadowbrook Senior Living felt just right. I knew what it was like to have nobody, and I wanted to be there for people who did.
Yes, sir.
Most of the residents were sweet. Some got a little confused at times, but they laughed and lived, except for Bob. He was 68 and usually kept to himself. His file mentioned occasional psychotic episodes, but the few times I'd looked after him, he seemed fine. At Christmas Eve, Marion, the activities director, had organized a party. Each resident's family had sent gifts, and we were all gathered in the common room passing them out. It was supposed to lift spirits during the holidays. Had sent gifts, and we were all gathered in the common room passing them out. It was supposed to
okay.
lift spirits during the holidays.
See?
The party started at 6. The residents sat in a circle, passing gifts and laughing along to an old Bing Crosby track playing through the speakers. Bob sat across from me, still as stone, with a faint smile on his face that didn't quite reach his eyes. Mrs. Patterson opened hers first. Her daughter had sent a nice scarf. Mr. Rodriguez got slippers. Rena's uncle had sent her books and candy. Nearly everyone got thoughtful presents. Then, Marion handed Bob his gift. It was a small box wrapped in red paper with a gold
It's
bow.
gotta be dark.
His hand shook
No,
as he
that
took it.
perception.
He peeled back the paper slowly, like he already knew what was inside and was dreading
shit.
it. When he lifted the lid, his whole expression shifted. Inside was a man's leather belt. It was flashy and looked expensive. For a few seconds, Bob just stared at the belt like it was a snake curled up in that box.
Damn.
Then he screamed and threw the box across the room.
Bob!
Damn.
Marion shouted, but he wasn't hearing anything. He grabbed one of the caregivers and shoved her so hard she hit the floor. His knees pinned her down as his hands locked around her throat. All the while, he kept screaming. It took 3 of us to pull him off. Even then, he kept thrashing, trying to get back to her. Marion had to call for the sedative.
Yup.
They dragged him to his room after that. The party was over. Everyone was shaken. Jenny had bruises on her neck, but said she was fine. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept seeing Bob's face when he
That's
opened
crazy.
that box. The pure terror in his eyes before the rage took over. At around 2 in the morning, I woke up to heart-wrenching sobs from the East Wing. I found Bob in a dark corner near the supply closet, curled up on the floor. Tears ran down his face as he whispered his wife's name over and over. Margaret! I'm sorry, Margaret.
Bob,
I knelt carefully, keeping a safe distance from him.
it's Ruthie. What's wrong?
He looked up, and his face just crumpled. You won't let me forget, Ruthie. He promised he'd never let me forget.
Who won't let you forget what?
My son, Carl. He won't ever let me get over it. I sat
Damn.
down next to him.
What happened, Bob?
He rocked back and forth, arms wrapped around himself. The cardiac arrest took Margaret 3 years ago. She was the only good thing in my life. And when she went, he swallowed hard. Carl got worse.
Worse how?
Boy was trouble since he could walk. Ran with the wrong crowd. Drank young. He stole from me more than once. Margaret always took his side, said he'd grow out of it. After she passed, there was no one left to pull him back. My stomach tightened. He cleaned out my savings on booze and cards. When I tried to stop him, Bob's voice went low, almost a whisper. He turned mean, started using his belt on me. I felt sick.
I was thinking the
He'd
opposite.
come over drunk, drag me out of bed, and beat me with it. Said I deserved it for being a terrible father, for not giving him enough money, for still being alive when his mother wasn't.
Whoa.
Tears were streaming down Bob's face
Damn,
now.
Bob.
I tried calling the police once. He laughed, said who'd believe me, that I was just a crazy old man with dementia.
Bob, we need to tell someone. If Carl's been hurting you,
He's a lawyer, Ruthie. Knows exactly how far he can go without leaving marks that last. And he's got everyone convinced I'm losing my mind. Bob looked at me with hollow eyes. Every Christmas he sends me that belt, just to remind me that Margaret's gone, and I'm at his mercy now.
this is abuse.
It is
There are
abuse.
laws.
Nobody will believe
It's
me.
adult
He
abuse.
made sure of that. Got to my doctor to document episodes. Got the staff here thinking I'm unstable. He's been building his case for years. I waited for Bob to stop crying before I went back to my locker and found that belt Marion had put there. I stared at it for a long time before calling the police. They came, took our statements, and bagged the belt as evidence. But Bob was right. Carl really had everything figured. He showed up the next morning in an expensive suit, calm as anything. He listened to everything with a small smile. My father has documented psychotic episodes. This is obviously a delusion. I'm
Damn.
concerned about the quality of care here if staff members are encouraging these fantasies. The administration bought his story. I was
Wow.
reprimanded for causing unnecessary distress
Wow.
and basically forced to quit. I couldn't stay there anyway. Couldn't look at Bob knowing he was trapped, and Carl would do it again next Christmas, and the one after that. For however many years Bob had left, I still think about Bob in that dark corner, crying over his dead wife, trapped by the son she'd protected her whole life.
Wow.
How Carl turned his grief into a weapon. How nobody believed the old man breaking down at Christmas. Sometimes, the real monsters wear expensive suits and know exactly which laws protect them.
That's crazy, y'all. I'm ending right here. See you boys in the next one. Peace.